is add some functionality. Okay, now before I was saying that I was going to come back to a reason why it's nice to have WordPress on your server as opposed to on the WordPress server, right? The biggest reason to me, and I'm sure everyone's going to have different reasons, but the biggest reason to me is that when you build your website on the WordPress.com server, so it's myblog.wordpress.com, right? When you build it on their server, you can't use plugins. I mean, they have a handful that are there automatically, but you can't use any plugin that you want because it's their server. If you install a plugin on their server, it affects all the blogs, not just yours, right? So they're like, you can't do that. You have to use the plugins that we have and not really any others. Okay. The alternative is, if you install WordPress on your own site, on your own server, you can use whatever plugins you want. And again, you put WordPress plugins into a Google search, it'll bring it right up, and when you go to it, this is what it looks like. And there's 3,247 plugins that you can pick from. Stuff like event calendars and Google sitemaps and all-in-one SEO packs. SEO stands for search engine optimization. So you want your site to come up high on a Google search. They give you tools to help you do that. Okay, I mean, they have things that weed out comment spam, because you can comment on people's blogs. So some people write little programs that go to as many blogs as they can and post stuff like, you know, Viagra and whatever it is, right? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that shows up. But you'd be surprised, and I'll show you a screen capture of my own website in just a second that shows you that in the last 6 months, the plugin that takes care of comment spam has weeded out over 13,000 comment spams on my website. And I didn't have to do any of it myself. It did it on its own. Okay. And there's tons of plugins that you can do to do all kinds of different functionality. So you can look through the directory, pick the ones you like, you put keywords in, and you'll see, you know, YouTube integration, a Twitter integration. Twitter integration is, who here is familiar with Twitter? Actually, let me do it the other way. Who here is not familiar with Twitter? Okay. That's not what today's about, but super quick. Blogging is about, it's basically an online journal where people write about whatever it is they want to write about on an ongoing basis. Well, some people don't really like to write that much, right? Some of you don't like to write that much, right? Well, Twitter is a micro-blogging platform where you only have 140 characters to work with. They don't give you any more than that. 140 characters, it's about 2 sentences, right? And you can just go on, and the idea is answer the question, what are you doing? Okay, and you can be whatever. Going to an entrepreneur meeting in Berkeley, right? Or at a conference at BizTech Day. BizTech Day was just last weekend, or actually a week and a half ago. You know, people can put little tidbits of information out into the universe to their audience. And you can integrate your blog with Twitter using a plugin that's available for WordPress, which means that when you Twitter, it notifies your blog, and if you blog, it notifies Twitter, which means you only have to be active on one of the 2 platforms and both get populated, right? Neat stuff, and it's all available, okay? My website was built using WordPress. It is not the best website in the world by any stretch. I wish it were. It's actually pretty simple. But the bottom line is that I built it myself. It didn't cost me any money, and it does what I need it to do for the most part. Okay, and if you go into the back end, the dashboard is what they call it, the WordPress dashboard. So if you install WordPress, you have a login, a place where you can log in. You get into this back end. It's a dashboard, and from there you can do all sorts of things like write a new page, write a new post. I mean, really simple stuff where you don't have to know HTML, you don't have to know all those things to put a new page on your website. You can literally just click write a new page or write a new post. And over here, I know you can't read this, okay, but it says 61 posts on my website and 320 pages. So there's 320 pages that make up the website portion of my website, and then there's a little tab that says blog. And if you clicked on that, you would go to the blog portion of my website that has 60 posts. So you can do a lot of stuff. There's like almost 400 pages on there. It was all done on WordPress, and none of it costed me anything. So it's worth figuring it out, right? It's worth figuring it out. And for people who are just about to create your website. I mean, it's powerful, powerful stuff. All right. And let me just show you, if you go to the plugins portion of the dashboard, and it says plugins, you just click on it. This is what it looks like. And it shows you a list of all the different plugins that you've installed on your WordPress. And all of you will choose different plugins. But there's some really powerful SEO tools. And one of them is right here. You might not be able to read that, but it says all-in-one SEO pack. It's very, very popular. Almost everyone who has a WordPress website uses it. They don't, no, that's not true. They've installed it. They don't use it. We'll talk about that in one second. And the second one is down here. That says SEO title tags, which overlaps the SEO pack to some extent, but it's got some nice features that can make things even easier. Okay, I'll show it to you in 2 seconds. In fact, I'll show it to you right now. So if you create a page or a post, you have these fields at the bottom of the screen where you can put in a title for the page, a description for the page, keywords for the page, okay, and you're leaving, and then a title tag. Okay. In other words, you're just feeding Google exactly what it wants. Most people who have SEO, the all-in-one SEO pack installed in their WordPress, which is great, I applaud that, they leave these blank. So what are you doing, right? I mean, that's the opportunity. You can give Google precisely what it's looking for. Okay, and I'll show you how that manifests itself in just a second. Well, I'll do it. Here we go. So here's an example. This is a website I built for a company. I'm just going to do 3 examples, 3 websites. So they wanted to target Clayton garbage removal, and there's the website I built. It's the first listing on Google, okay, because I used the tools. Okay, and they also wanted to target Martinez, so we did the same thing there, and sure enough, we got a double listing here for them. First listing, like not first page, but the first list, you can do this. Okay, if you target specifically, you can do this. So I did the same thing for a bank that has a department that specializes in 1031 exchange. And so we targeted Walnut Creek 1031 exchange. They got the #1 listing after the local listings. Okay, and we also did Oakland, same thing. So they're just examples. And here, this is my website. So if you search for Walnut Creek Internet Marketing Services, Tactical Execution comes up first for that. And if you do Bay Area Internet Marketing Services, which is more competitive, I come up third. The point is, if you just give Google what it's looking for, and if you target a narrow enough phrase, like Bay Area Internet Marketing Services, it's a 5-word phrase, right? It's not nearly as competitive as just doing internet marketing. Right? If you do a narrow phrase, and you can target 30 of them. You can do Bay Area, East Bay, Oakland, Berkeley, Emeryville, Albany, right? Whatever your business is, right? You call this municipal targeting, and you can target each one of those individually and probably rank pretty high on each one. So that's just going to lay the foundation. I'm going to stop there and pass it over to Lee. An opportunity to do stuff, and it doesn't have to be that difficult. You just have to be methodical about it and go through the steps.